In the 80s and 90s, video games were rising in popularity. Whether it be Nintendo games like Super Smash Bros. Or even fighting games like Mortal Kombat, we definitely know that gaming was reaching a new wave from that point onward. Although today, we'll be talking about a different game. That being Streets of Rage. Sega is a video game corporation primarily set in Japan. I'm sure if you've heard of Sega, the first game you can think of is Sonic the Hedgehog, this being the most popular as well as their corporation mascot. Although the game holds no similarities to Streets of Rage as they have completely different gameplay styles, but there is still a game that's similar to Streets of Rage, that being Golden Axe, a side-scroller beat-em-up game which is the same genre as Streets of Rage. The game even holds similarities in the gameplay aspect as the combat is extremely similar, but there is still a difference. That being one of the most recent sequels of Golden Axe, which is named Golden Axe Beast Rider. This took a different route as it's no longer a beat-em-up game, but is now a third-person action game. You'll soon see how Streets of Rage took a completely different route. The first entry to Streets of Rage was released in 1991 on the Sega Mega Drive and Sega Genesis. The game was developed by Sega, Overworks, Sega AM1, and Magical. The game falls under the beat-em-up genre, a genre where the protagonist is fighting a large amount of enemies, usually in the form of waves, so just like the previous game I was talking about, Golden Axe. Although Streets of Rage holds a difference in the form of combat, as it's primarily hand-to-hand combat, while Golden Axe is mostly medieval weapons like swords and axes. Streets of Rage also has multiple characters, those being Axel, Blaze, and Adam. This would give the opportunity for multiple people to play at once. This would get good reviews, causing to get a sequel. Streets of Rage 2 was released in 1992, only a year after the predecessor was released. The developers were mostly the same, although Magic was no longer part of it, and two new developers took its place, those being M&M Software and Shout Design Works. The gameplay aspect was mostly similar, you could still pick up weapons and use special abilities, the normal stuff, but there was still a difference, that being the roster. Axel and Blaze were still playable characters, but Adam was no longer playable and two new characters took his place, those individuals being Max and Skate, Skate being Adam's younger brother. Other than that, the gameplay was still great, causing to be another success, and later on getting another sequel. Streets of Rage 3 was released in 1994. The game was only developed by Overworks and Sega. Like the previous games, the gameplay was mostly similar, although there was a graphical improvement. Axel, Blaze, and Skate were still playable characters, but Max was replaced with Zan. There was also other playable characters that were unlockable after defeating them, those being Shiva and Ryu. This third entry is honestly my favorite in the franchise. I can't tell you how many times I've played this game, but to my surprise, years later, a sequel will be announced. On August 27th of 2018, Streets of Rage 4 was officially revealed. The trailer shows a completely different look for Streets of Rage, the most obvious being the graphics of the game, as well as the ages of the characters. Next, I'll be giving a full analysis of Streets of Rage 4. Streets of Rage 4 was released on April 30th of 2020. The game was developed by Dotemu, Lizard Cube, and Guard Crush. The game was the first in years to have Axel, Blaze, and Adam all playable in the same game, although there were other playable characters in the game like Adam's daughter Cherry, as well as Floyd. The game has a new art style which fits perfectly. Every map is visually appealing and unique from the others. The display is also smooth and no longer pixelated like the previous games. Another difference within the game would be the run option, as only Cherry can run, which is different from how everyone can run in Streets of Rage 3. Overall, Streets of Rage 4 is a 10 out of 10 for me. The art style and the in-game music is unlike any I've ever seen. Even the concept art is cool to look at as you can literally see the process and ideas up until the final product. Better yet, a DLC is releasing soon in the future. In conclusion, I love how Streets of Rage kept its style over the years. So now, I want to know your opinion on Streets of Rage. Comment below with your experiences. Anyway, this has been Verbo, I hope you enjoyed the video, and peace.